Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I filmed a Halloween tutorial on how to get this black cat look. It's pretty universal, so you can use it for a panther, a lion, but it's really easy to achieve, so let's get right into it. Starting off with a bare face, of course, I'm going to be brushing through my eyebrows and then using a mattifying primer from Black Radiance. And I learned this really cool trick of putting on powder before you apply foundation so that when you do put it on, it's a lot more pigmented and stays in place. By the way, I know I haven't posted in like 3 weeks, but I did recently move, so I didn't have a filming setup at all, but I'm back. And of course, if you guys have any more ideas for Halloween videos, you should definitely comment down below and let me know. But for my eyebrows, I'm going to be using a brown eyebrow pencil, and I'm going to outline the bottom like I normally would, but instead of outlining the top, I'm going to draw long strokes over where my eyebrow actually stops so that they look bushier and more like cat hair. Then I'm going to be taking a really light concealer and just outlining the bottom of my eyebrow instead of the top, because I still want them to look clean but at the same time really bushy. Then I took a concealer from the same palette similar to my skin tone, and I put that all over my eyelids to act as a base for the eyeshadows. I wanted to create a base that was completely flawless, so I'm putting on just a little bit of foundation and then focusing more on concealer later. And then I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Chestnut, which is my complexion shade, and I'm putting that underneath my eyes and around my mouth. And I actually didn't blend it out all the way. I let it dry first a little so it's thicker and I get more coverage before I blended it out with a sponge. So I'm mixing a whole bunch of lighter concealers to get my highlight, and I'm putting it under my eyes and especially around my mouth. And I'm not blending it out all the way because I do want it to thicken up a bit before I blend it. But when I do decide to blend it, I'm using a foundation brush instead of a beauty blender because I don't want any of the product to be absorbed.
Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy. Out of my mind, out of my mind. Wrote it down and read it out, hoping it would save me. Too many times, my love. She made me feel like nobody else, yeah. Oh, my love. She doesn't need me, so I tell myself. One, don't pick up the phone.
Over top of that, I used an even lighter concealer because it is costume makeup and I wanted it to look really dramatic and like cartoon-like, so I'm going in with another lighter concealer on top of the lighter concealer I put on before and the same foundation brush.
I got no rules, I gotta tell them to myself.
Next, I'll be using white powder instead of banana powder to bake because, again, for the millionth time, I want it to look a lot lighter than the rest of my face. I want the only dimension in my face to be the one that I add and not the one that's naturally there, which is why I'm trying so hard to make under my eyes and around my mouth so much lighter, because I want it to look dramatic. For my eyes, I'm taking this kind of burgundy shade and I'm putting it as a preliminary color to the darker shade I'm gonna put on later.
I think that you should let it burn. Oh, your body to want to, you know, gotta let it go, 'cause the party ain't open like it used. Oh no, even though this might be, let it burn.
Then I'm taking a smaller brush and this darker brown shade, and I'm using that to further like smoke it out, and I'm bringing it past my eyebrow so that it looks more cat-like.
You know that it's over. Let it burn. Oh baby, so little bitch, you can't fuck with me if you wanted to.
Next is eyeliner, which was the hardest part, to be honest. I use an extra thin brush to draw a wing on the inner corner of my eye and kind of slant it down so that they look more cat-like, of course. But I messed up a couple of times and had to go back and clean it and redo it. But I would suggest doing this with a really thin brush, otherwise you could get it into your actual eyes. Then I did, of course, a regular cat eye wing on my outer corner, and I made it really skinny. I tried not to make it too thick, but really thin to wing out my eyes. By the way, I feel like I sound really monotone whenever I do voiceovers. I'm not like this in person. It's just whenever I do voiceovers, it's always at night and I'm low-key tired, so that's why I sound so monotone. But I'm not like this in person. Next, I'm doing something I would never do on a regular basis, but I'm taking a black kohl eyeliner and lining the waterline, and then I'm connecting it to my inner corner cat eye and my outer corner cat eye. Yeah, that's what I meant. And then here I'm just taking the sponge and pushing the powder into my skin instead of sweeping the rest away. For contouring my face, I'm mixing the burgundy shade and the dark brown shade that I used on my eyes, and I'm putting a lot of this on. I'm putting it under my cheekbones, along my jawline, and especially on my forehead to give my face more dimension. And it's really important that you use like a red toned bronzer instead of a shadow toned bronzer, because it just makes it look more animalistic, I guess. And I accidentally brought my contour too far in, so I'm just using the Maybelline Fit Me pressed powder in the shade Cappuccino around my mouth, because that's where I'm going to draw like my whisker dimple things. And then I'm just contouring my nose with the same reddish brown combination that I used earlier. I applied my lashes off camera because it takes me way too long, but I use these ones by Wet n Wild, and they're in the style Shuttershock. They're really cartoon-like, so I think they were perfect for this look. And then I'm taking the same shadows I use on my eyelids on my lower waterline to smoke it out. And now I'm drawing on my nose. So basically, the best advice I can give to y'all is to kind of draw it in the shape of a heart, and bring the pointed nose, like the point of the bottom of the nose, almost down to your lip. And then I filled it in with a regular liquid eyeliner because I hate felt tip liners and I therefore do not own one. But it's really easy to use a kohl pencil first, and a lot easier to clean up your mistakes if you end up making one. So that's my advice. I didn't want to draw whiskers, so instead I drew these kind of like freckle things that I always see cartoon cats have on the sides of their faces. I tried as much as possible to make it symmetrical, but if you don't, it's really not that big of a deal.
You wouldn't want a young mama if I wasn't whipping this for it. You gon' have to do more than just.
Then using the same kohl pencil again, I'm lining my upper lip only and filling that in.
want you to. You gon' have to do more than just say it. You gon' have to do it less when you do it. You know, so you don't need to do more than do it. You know, and you it's for a God.
And here I'm just drawing it past my natural lip line to, I don't know why I did this, I just wanted to. And also filling in the inner crevices of my lip so that when I'm talking and stuff, you can't see the pink of my lip underneath. Next, I did highlight. I'm just using the same highlight I always use. It's the LA Color Shimmering Loose Eyeshadow in the shade Radiant. And even though I feel like the highlight made it look less matte, I still wanted to do it because it was still a glam tutorial and it's still makeup, so.
Just promise the truth, and when I come down with it, yeah, you love when I'm down with it, yeah.
And here I'm just using the same glitter as before down the bridge of my nose. This next step is totally optional, but I decided to put some concealer on my bottom lip because the eyeliner was low-key transferring to my bottom lip and it was making it look less put together, so that's always a tip. Lastly, you of course have to set your face in place so that it lasts all night, and that is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and you can thumbs up this video if you did, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already because I really don't have any subscribers and like I don't know what I did to deserve this. But I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.